Traders, this is Rich with BeingWithTheMarkets.com. How you doing? Today is July 17th, 2025. I hope you're all doing well. I don't know where this is going to go, but as I keep saying over and over again, there's not one person, there's not one prop, there's not one broker that is going to tell me how to trade. Trading with freedom is knowing how to trade, traders. Trading with freedom is trading without rules. Who wants to abide by rules? Those who are successful have to live out of the norm. Yes, that's right. Yeah, all the elites, all these people, all the education typically is following the herds. Why do you want to follow the herd? Why do you want to be like the others? Become yourself, become one, become your best. As I am my best. I can understand and follow that market like glue. The only thing that's going to get you out of the market if you know how to trade is leverage, traders. Don't let anybody fool you that trading a live account is the almighty account. That is not true, traders. That is not true. I am telling you from my experiences, and I have a lot of them. I have a lot. Do not listen to those who think that the prop firm is much easier to trade or a live account is much harder to trade. When you're on a live account, you have no rules. When you're at a broker, a legitimate broker, a regulated broker, there are no rules. You just can't go over your margin, right? But they're not going to tell you how to trade, right? And if you trade well, and you trade a lot, guess what you get? You get discounts if they know who you are. Maybe you don't know, and maybe your gurus don't know that because they haven't been in those positions. Maybe they have no idea. They just say that they're trading from a live account. And if they understand what trading is from a live account, then they would not say that trading with a prop firm is much easier. That is not true.
Oh shit, here we go again.
If you know how to trade the chart, you can trade anything. The only thing that is different in trading, traders, are the rules and the slippage, okay, and the fees. Other than that, and the platforms, obviously. So the obvious is different. Prop firms make it to where they give you a bunch of leverage, a small drawdown, and expect you not to use any of that big leverage to go ahead and trade. Because if you do, then they call it a windfall trade, or they call it a YOLO trade, or they call it a full port trade. So let me ask you a simple question, traders, because I hope you have some luck, and I hope you have some common sense. There is not a book on common sense. I'm sorry, there isn't. You must follow traders that have common sense. Not the people that want you to watch their streams, not the people that say that education is not any good that you can learn on YouTube for free. Tell that to Bill Gates. Those guys weren't reading books. Those guys weren't following the rules. They live outside of the box. They found out ways to make themselves successful at whatever they were doing. And as they reached that point in time, they went outside of that box. That's what you must have to do with trading. Who's got your back? A spineless jellyfish who believes and reads off teleprompters or just wants to tell you that it doesn't exist? You can learn for free on YouTube. You just have to find your way. Not all strategies work for the same people. Let me ask you something, okay? Let's use some common sense again. If you had a set of engineers and they were working at a specific place and they all had to do the same thing at their job, the same formulas, and they were working on, let's say, missiles, or they were working on planes or whatever, you think to tell me that someone would go up there and say, oh, my personality doesn't match this. It's my personality. That's why I suck at engineering. It's because that doesn't interest me. Therefore, I suck at it. Are you kidding me? I've heard so much bullshit. It keeps going out over and over and over again. If you don't pay for your education and if you don't pay for a mentorship by someone who has a skill, then you're going to take years and years of losing, possibly. But I'll tell you one thing, nothing comes for free. Because as you continue to lose money in the market, as you continue to get your stop loss hit, as you continue to buy combines, evaluation, PA accounts, test accounts, whatever accounts you want, that is money that you're putting out, or that is money that you're investing out of your pocket to try what? Something for free. Right? Free. Good luck with that. How is that working out for you? How many combines, evaluations, PAs, test accounts, all of these accounts that they call them with names, they're all the same. How many of those have you bought? How many of those did you pass? How many payouts did you actually get?
Oh shit, here we go again.
Ask yourself, is that the education you want? Because that style of education is going to get you nowhere. You will have zero unless you invest in yourself in some way, shape, or form. Yes, it does cost money to invest in yourself. Do you think all of these business people out here that are worth millions and millions of dollars, you think that they didn't invest in themselves? They did somehow. It cost them money to open a business. It cost them money for property. It cost them money for a storefront. Risk and reward, right? Rate of investment, right? What's the rate of investment? If you know how to trade the chart, I can teach you how to do a lot of things once you learn how to trade the chart. There are different places to trade. There are places to go. There's something for you, whatever your appetite is. But you cannot have an appetite to trade unless you have a skill. If you have a skill, then you have freedom. And if you have freedom, now you can go out and see what works for you in a sense, what is most cost effective for you and your family, or you learning how to trade. What is most beneficial for you? Yes, everyone is different as far as financial. That is correct. Not everyone is different when it comes to this strategy might not work for someone. That strategy might not work for this person. Let's just take sports in general. Are they going to change the rules for everyone? Are they really going to change the rules for golf? This guy doesn't like 18 holes. He wants 15 holes. This guy likes 21 holes. They're going to change the rules for everyone? That's a bullshit. You keep listening to all these fools. If you listen to what they say, you can clearly see they don't know what the fuck they're doing in the market. They continue to use their opinions. I keep saying this over and over and over again. I am not giving my opinion. I am asking you to think. And I'm asking you, do you think that somebody should change the rules for each individual when they play sports? If you answered no, you pass that fucking question, okay? If not, get off the channel. Trading's not for you, okay? How many people sit there and they'll dog someone else because they want people to come in and watch them for free? Hey, look at me, I'm watching you, you're watching me for free, but yet they're collecting a bunch of money on affiliates. That is a fact. They're collecting money on affiliates. Big money on affiliates, I am sure. Each one is different, but for anyone to say that education is not good for you, maybe they're not educated themselves. That would be my first question, right? Since when would anyone say education is not good for you? I don't know. Do you have kids? They like to go to school and learn. When does somebody say education's not good for you? Just do it for free. This isn't some socialist fucking country. Are you kidding me? Free? What are you going to get for free? You're going to get your feet wet for free and you're going to go down very quickly. Why? Because free isn't worth anything. If you got something for free and now you're going to go peddle it and try to sell it for something at a higher price, you bought it for free. What's the value of it? You didn't buy it for free, you got it for free. What's the value of it? What's the value of your education? What's the value of you keep losing in the market? Is there a value of you keep losing in the market? That's for you to decide. Do you like it? Are you using a stop loss every day? Do you like it? Know the risk and the reward, right? If you get pinched, you get pinched. It's a fact, right? There are people that have swings, $1 million swings in the market, $1 million and $1 million of swings in the market, investors. And as the swing goes down, they might buy some more millions in a specific stock, right? So there's these big swings. Now all of a sudden you get these gurus on TV that say, oh, just because you lost an account, that means you're not any good. Oh, really? just because you don't use a stop loss, you don't know what risk management is. Oh, really? Well, are we all robots? Do we all trade the same? Think about it. Do we all trade the same? Can you trade without a stop loss? Huh? I didn't trade live accounts. I don't trade live accounts with stop loss. Why would I? What's the point? Freedom trading, understanding where you are in the market. Whether you're buying options, you're buying futures, you're buying stocks, pre-market, during the market hours, New York session. There's a flavor for everyone, but there's one thing in common. And the question is whether you know how to trade or not. You can find your flavor in cost. You cannot find your flavor in having a skill, because you either have a skill or you don't have a skill. That's a fact. There's no such thing, my strategy might not work for you. I don't have a strategy. There's no such thing as my edge might not work for you. I don't have an edge. Now what are you going to say? There's no such thing for you to even be in the market? I mean, think about it. Huh? Go look at the 300 videos that I posted, okay? The bottom line. Where's the next guru that's posting all that? Look, what they'll do is post money. I'm not into the money. I'm into the skill. There's a big difference. There's a big difference in somebody that's into money or the skill, okay? I have nothing to prove. I've already been there. More than once, all right? So there's nothing to prove. What you must have in the market is skill. That is number one. That will get you to trade freely. How would you like to trade freely in the market? Think about this just for a second. You turn on the market. comes right in front of your eyes. You completely understand where you're at in the market when that screen comes on. You know whether to go long or short. You know whether to hold and go short in a few or hold and go long in a few. That is freedom. That is not an opinion. That is truly trading the chart. If you have an opinion in the market, that is wrong. Opinions are worthless. My opinion in the market is worthless. My eyes will not lie to me. Your eyes will not lie to you either. When you are shown how to analyze the market in an appropriate way, in a methodical, systematic way, and you're also told about gems in the market and what they do and why, then you can identify those things. It's kind of like mapping out, say you're going hunting or fishing or a vacation, right? You gotta look up, okay, what's in the area? I'm not from Hawaii. I want to stay on Maui. I want a beach house, or I want to stay on the beach in Maui. A hotel. I want an all-inclusive. So you put all that information in there, and then all of a sudden, you have a list of things that pop up. And then you go ahead and select where you want to stay, and for whatever it is. It could be the cost. Once again, so you used your navigation skills, navigating through the internet, finding what fits your needs, and what's the very last thing that you look at? Does it fit us financially or not? If not, you look for something else. But the last thing is financials. So why do all of these traders, influencers, YouTubers that are on free, streaming live, getting income because the prop firms tell them that they must stream in order to be an affiliate with them? Geez, I wonder why. And not only do they stream, they don't say anything really negative, even though they know something really bad about that prop firm, some insider stuff from someone else, and they don't post it. Do they have your best interest? I don't know. That's for you to decide. But you need to think about what's going on. I thank all the prop firms, other than those who fucking rip people off like Fast Track Trading, who ripped me off also. But I thank them all. And genuinely, seriously, I thank them all for giving the opportunity for traders to trade. That is good. That's great. They deserve that respect. But when you start twisting the rules and you start nudging people and you start squeezing traders, then what happens is it's obviously known that you're not really looking for traders. Because why does a trader have to trade live with you? Think about it. You want to trade live? Trade your own live account. Why can't you trade live? If you're spending all of this money in prop firms, why can't you trade live? You can. Prop firms are harder than trading live. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. Only thing you're doing is buying bits and pieces to get into the market. Well, why don't you save up that money and forget the props, save up that money and put it in live? If you have a skill, but no. Why? Because the majority, 99% of those people are gambling. Oh my gosh. Yes, that's right. They're gambling. They don't really have a skill.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
They don't know how to work on a skill. They're trying to get lucky through the first phase, trying to get lucky again through the second phase, and then all of a sudden they go, this gambling works. But they can't understand why and how they passed two phases. What a shitty way to live, man. You got all this money, and you really don't know how you got it. You were lucky. And you said, I'm going to quit now. My luck's going to run out. And you go, no, wait a minute. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give one more shot. Now all of a sudden you're chasing a dream that doesn't exist. Now all of a sudden you're chasing a dream that doesn't exist. And you've never been told to live in reality. Reality is not living a dream. Reality is living in a reality such as I am doing right now. I am not influenced by anybody. I am not influenced by a prop firm. Every prop firm can say, Rich, you can't trade with us. No big deal. No problem. I take my skill to live account. I'm already there. The point is, it doesn't matter. If you go to a bank to buy a house, you're going to get a loan for leverage, right? You may have the cash, but any smart business person knows, why am I going to pay cash for the house when I could get a loan from the bank at a certain percentage with a certain amount of money down and pay monthly at a nice cost and leverage the money? After a couple years, you sell the house. So you leverage the money, you paid a little, and you flip the home. I flipped many, many homes. Oh, I know, they're not cars, they're homes, right? Right? They're not the Lamborghinis, they're houses. I mean, think about it, right? And land, think about it. Land in the most prestigious golf courses, you know? Don't worry about that. But the point is, you have all of these gurus that want you to believe that their opinions matter. When what they should say is, my opinion doesn't matter and your opinion doesn't matter. Education does matter. Whether you have what's credentials mean. What is a thing called credentials? Or you know how many times I called the broker, I'm not going to name the name. You know how many times I called the broker and I didn't have time to place an options trade? And it was pretty in-depth, you know? And the guy that I was talking to, or girl, couldn't put in the fucking order for me. Now, they worked there, but then I had to be transferred to the options desk or someone else on the options desk, a senior guy that I could walk through what I was wanting when to place this options trade. Credentials don't mean shit. It doesn't matter where you were. It doesn't matter where you came from. Do you think the strongest fighter in the world is actually fighting? Do you think the best boxer in the world is actually boxing? Think about it. There are naturals. There are smart people that limit themselves. You probably know some. That very, very smart people decided to do nothing with their life. Does that mean they're stupid? No, it doesn't mean they're stupid. They just decided they were bored. They were bored in school. School was boring to them because they just got it. And everyone thought that Johnny was such a dirtball in school. But no one ever said or no one even noticed that he already knew the shit. He was just bored. Why am I going to do that? I already know it. But he didn't say nothing. People were like that everywhere. So you have this herd of people that continue to say the same thing. They continue to go on podcasts, repeating the same information over and over and over again. Why? Not because it works. They made money elsewhere, didn't they? They had other things coming in. You know how many people are... No, let's not get into that. This is a big problem. Remember, you are yourself. Do not follow others. Figure out what works for you and who you want to hang out with. If you want to learn how I trade on a daily basis, go to breathingwiththemarkets.com. I will teach you one-on-one. Today, for example, I was in a meeting with one of the mentees, and she had some questions, and I went to the live market, and I also went to another market on a prop firm, and I was taking some trades. And I pulled up the screen, and I started to take trades and explain to her. And she already knew this stuff, but I was explaining other things that I'm not going to repeat on YouTube. Why? Because it's not fucking free, okay? My shit's not for free. I'm not going to teach the public for free. If someone values themselves, then they must invest in themselves first, and then I teach them a skill, okay? But we were going through the charts, and I was taking trades, and after the session, I came out profitable again. After the session, and it wasn't meant to be. We didn't have a session so I would trade, because I don't trade with the mentees, and I never ever allow them to trade with me if I'm showing them an example. Because that's just who I am. I teach people how to fish for their family. I don't teach people how to follow me, okay? Because first of all, I don't want to be responsible for their financial situation. And second of all, following somebody on TV, YouTube, and just watching them, you're not going to learn anything. There's too many tards watching in the first place, and they're sending messages through the Discord. And they're all different. And you got the streamer going long, and then you got 7 people going short, and they're saying, oh, I'm short. And then they go, oh, Guru went long and lost. And 3 or 4 people went short, and they won, and then all of a sudden they're saying, I told you should have went long, I told you should have went short, and no one knows how to read the fucking chart. All you gotta do is, if you know how to read the chart, you can jump into one of these places and understand it, what level of trading is going on. All you do is flip on the TV. There was something last night on TV. All of a sudden, a guy takes a trade, and 2 hours later or more, ends up becoming in profit. 2 hours of being in negative. A skill is first. A skill can be taught. Intuition and opinions cannot be taught, traders. Okay? Intuition and a hunch, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, cannot be taught. I wish you well, and I hope you listen. I hope you truly listen. And if you want to reach out to me, there's a button on the website at breathingwiththemarkets.com. You can click that button and send me an email if you have any questions about the mentorship. I'll be more than happy to get back with you, and I will do that as soon as possible. But I wish you well. I don't know when the next time I'm going to post. I got a lot going on. But one thing, my skill will never leave me. And another thing, the mentee skill is getting better each and every day, which is putting others further and further behind. Peace, traders.